but also he's kind of like very flat, whereas the penguin is actually so anyway, so I said, look, he's got to swim in the same sea, belong in the same zoo, you know. So that's the puffin. My wife hates it. She said, why did you ruin that? I really like that. She's an illustrator. So just to kind of like, and it just makes a very simple point. Revolution versus evolution. That's the two. Okay, I was lucky enough to work on the kind of flagship product for Penguin, which is Penguin Classics. This is a kind of bit of their lineage. So they got to this point here, where they kind of ate for what was known in the trade as a Faber box, but you know, it didn't actually make for great typographic solutions when you were stuck within this frame. And I argued the point that every time you bought a picture, you know, you had to make sure there's nothing interesting there, yeah, because like you stuck a large box. So they had done this. So they were a little bit over, and it was time to change. So it was great to do anyway. So this was the solution, where I said, look, he's really important, yeah, because anyone can publish him because he's out of copyright. The fact is that this gives it authority. So bring it to the fore. I'm going to go backwards for the only time. Excuse me. Because, like, Jesus Christ, look at that. I mean, look, what you can't, you know, what is it? Is it a penguin? No. So bring him back to his natural. This is actually supposed to be kind of like a silvery gold. Couldn't make my mind up. Gold, silver, silver, gold, silver, gold. This is Girl Sans, which is the original typeface for the, you know, the famous penguins with the orange stripes. And did it asymmetric because they couldn't screw it up, yeah, because it's quite hard to center things. And this is a, more or less, hopefully, can't see it from there, hopefully, a square. So it was generous for portrait format paintings or photos or landscape, yeah, so it kind of bridged the gap. But it got caught in the mid-Atlantic something or other, and anyway, so you've never seen it. So I'm just going to show you what actually, I mean, they took on a board of quite a lot of what we did, but this is what you'll see in the shops now. Some things, I mean, like you lose a lot of jobs, frankly, but you know, mostly I let it go. I let it go. But it really fucking bugs me they didn't do that, because like there are thousands, millions of these things out there, and they all have, you know, a variant of what, you know, could have, you know, dominated the world. Okay, back in the classics. Primary function versus secondary image. Sorry, back to depth theory, excuse me. Right, I am a chair. So, okay, primary function, a chair is a chair is a chair is a chair, you sit on it, yeah? But the fact of the matter is, and what graphic designers and branding graphic designers, whatever you like to call people working on identity, are chiefly concerned in is not the primary function, but the secondary message. So, when you have a chair, there's something about that chair, I'm talking metaphorically, that gives it an identity, yeah? Not that we design chairs. You know, this chair is saying, I'm 20th century, I'm from the modernist machine aesthetic, I'm minimal, I believe less is more, you know, I'm ergonomic, but I'm kind of have some sort of artistry about me. Whereas this chair says, hey, I'm not cool and minimal and 40. I'm probably, you know, Louis XIV and I'm highly adorned and I don't, you know, frankly, if you can't fool me, you're never going to sit on me. you know. And I'm telling you about something about comfort, taste, status, and elegance, and craft. Secondary message. What we also do is mix and match visual conventions to create new combinations. He's back again, okay? But if you pair him up with this guy here, you get that. So you're doing that all the time in creating new identities. Combination substitution. Manipulating the components. So what? Let's look at what this actually means in graphic identity. So I'm going to take some vernacular, and there are certain visual conventions that we are aware of or not, probably don't think about, but it's bleeding obvious that when we see it, it's apparent. So here's a bit of vernacular design. It's a sign. Fresh eggs, that way. Which, if you're driving down the highway, maybe you buy some. I don't know. It kind of looks pretty authentic to me. So the identity fits. If your offer was somewhat different and you were giving flying lessons, you might think twice. Maybe. I'd certainly be going to a farm, I think. The heart's a visual cliche, and we'll talk about that a bit later, actually. But slightly out of pace, because maybe it's not about love. I don't know. But you get, that's a sex shop. You know what it's going to put, you know what you're going to get inside. If you designer came along and kind of changed it, because he was so into Helvetica and Willa Brockman and Swiss to that. He's like, what kind of sex are they offering? Maybe you'd want it. I don't know. Who knows? I cycled past this doorway for several years. But I didn't cycle past the sign because that's a comp, that's made up. Actually, it's a lie. But I did cycle past this doorway. And I probably wouldn't have taken a photo of it, actually. But it gives you a clue when it says K Keys BDSU London. But the actual sign said that. Which is why I took a picture of it, I guess. I'm not sure how successful a dental practice it was, but you certainly noticed it. Maybe that's why we noticed it. Shifting paradigm. We do that a bit as well, so let's explain that. Is this a child's drawing? Because the first drawings we made are kind of circular. Like that. Actually, it's a doodle. But when I tell you the doodle is from this chap here, Sigmund Freud, born 1856, you kind of maybe see those doodles through Freudian concepts. So you start to look at it in a different light. Unconscious fear, some whole or another. But if you do this and say, well, actually, it was created by Henri Matisse, born 1869, then maybe it's a study for the snail or some bit of renowned art. So, shifting paradigms. Here's an example of graphics. I found this from those postcards. Pelican covers. So, I mean, this is just to show that actually visual conventions change through time. And, it's a fairly explicit and straightforward cover when, it was created in the 60s. But consider this. This is by David Cameron, Boris Johnson. Both, I think, Etonians, maybe? And the only person I know who owns a Rolls Royce is my brother, who's a builder. You know, I think you could say that maybe this cover wouldn't actually kind of work quite as well now.